Hey, what's up, beautiful people? Hello, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful people. How are you today? How is this evening going for each of you? Welcome, 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 welcome to another episode of Nights with Nikki. Hey everybody. It's been a really eventful day. A lot is going on. A ton of things are going on. So I know that there are a lot of places that you could be. In fact, I know my friend Funky Dineva is still alive. The reason we went, listen, you guys are never going to believe this, but I was actually ready on time tonight. I was ready for 10:30. And then I saw that, my brother Funky Dineva was on and sharing his side of the story. I was saying goodbye to him so I could be here with you. Before you give up on us, you gotta hear my side of the story. We talking about my side of the story, you guys. I don't know if y'all hip, but my side of the story is actually a song off of my Grown Folks Music album. It's one of my favorites. It grew to be one of my favorites, you guys, because if I'm totally honest with you, originally when Jay Boberg, who was the then head of MCA Records. Oh, let me do a check real quick. First of all, can you guys hear me okay? Is my audio all right? You guys, please show me some love on the audio. Is the audio okay? Like, share, and subscribe if you're coming in watching, and hit the notification bell. I'm trying to be grown again today in here without my glasses on. Hold on. I got them right here though, so I might as well use them. Notifications. I'm like somebody old grandmother. I used to talk about my mama, about her readers. And notification, like, share, and subscribe. I sure did. I talked about her. I did. I'm like, you going in the drugstore picking up them readers, man. What is you doing, Helen? And that's in my face. And my mom would be like, listen, mind your business. Let me do what I do. So welcome, you guys. Welcome Instagram. Welcome Twitter. Welcome worried.TV YouTube channel. I think LinkedIn is the only place that we are not broadcasting live tonight. Yes, unfortunately, our friends over at LinkedIn, something happened in the broadcast, didn't go through. But hello, TikTok. Hi, we ticking and talking, working all around the clock. Everybody go TikTok. Everybody say TikTok. How are you guys? So yeah, we got some stuff to talk about. But just, real quick, some nostalgia stuff. We're not gonna just lean into the debauchery right off rip. Back in the day, you guys, I did a solo album. My only solo album. It was actually called Grown Folks Music, and it is one of my favorite bodies of work. I mentioned that last night, and the reason why is just because it was like the songs were just. I was writing the songs to place on other people. I wasn't trying to do a solo album. I never really had a desire to be a solo artist, right? I know a lot of people have a yearning for that, but I never really had a desire to do it. In fact, everybody else kind of stepped out of the group to pursue, their passions, their solo passion. I know that Keena, did a solo album. Maxie did a solo album. All these people did solo albums before me. But yeah, I never really had a desire. However, the way we happened upon this Grown Folks Music album, please hit like, you guys, please hit like as you come in. Can I get some likes? Can I get some likes? The likes work for you, girl. But anywho, I'll never forget Bernard Alexander, who was my former manager with Brownstone, or Brownstone's former manager. I remember I was in the studio and I was just having writing sessions, and he was just like, yo, play that again. And I played it. I think it was Woman in Need. Working with Eric and Doug, which are two producers from Detroit. So, the vibe was already vibing. And he's like, yo, how many of these records you got? And so I just played them, and he gave them to the president of MCA at the time. And they offered me a deal. So I did the Grown Folks Music album. And then right before the album was released, or set to be released, I didn't know this then. I was really kind of offended at the time, but this is a great example of that whole saying, God knows what you need You know what I mean? You just have to be obedient. And like Faye said in the clip, you coming from the right place, you can't go wrong. So I'm all geeked up because I'm like, oh, I'm about to release this record that I didn't want to really do solo. And I got a call, I'll never forget. They booked me to do the national anthem for the Detroit Lions game. So first of all, I'm geeked up because that Thanksgiving game, that national anthem was a big deal. And yeah, they booked me for that. And he said, yeah, I'm super, happy to tell you that we booked you for the national anthem. He said, but, I've got some news that you might not be happy to hear. And I'm like, well, what's that? And that's when he told me that, he said, well, we're not going to release your album. In fact, we're dropping you from the label. And I was like, what? And I'm like, I didn't even want to do this shit. Y'all done geeked me all up, got me ready to do this album, and now y'all gonna just throw the shit in the trash? But that wasn't the plan at all. What he said, and it's really interesting, and shout out, I think Jeffrey is still at MCA. I look at him and definitely view him as one of the good guys in the music industry. He said, you might not know it now. Might not know it now, but baby, yes I am. Stop. He said, you're gonna appreciate this later. He said, it's not gonna mean as much to you now. He said, but I promise you, you will really appreciate this at some point later. And now I own the masters for the Grown Folks Music album. So what you see on iTunes, in that Brownstone iTunes community, please make sure you stream Grown Folks Music, because it is just a fire ass album. And I'm not just saying that because I recorded the album. I'm not saying that because I wrote the album or co-wrote the album with a bunch of other dope writers. I'm saying it because the shit is just fire. Ain't that what the youngest say? It's fire. But anyway, is Funky still on? Okay, no, I think he is off. Is he on or off? No, he's still on. He going long, y'all. But anyway, okay, so what are we going to get into first, you guys? I guess the appropriate thing to do is to, I don't even want to report this story, and not because, thank you very much, Astro Flunk. Thank you very much. Oh, I didn't do the roll call yet. Let me do the roll call. Hold on, we got to do our roll call. All right, let me start over here on TikTok first. What's going on, LV? What's poppin', Rhonda? I see you. I'm doing the first few people that came up in here. What's up, Auntie? What is going on, Tasha? I don't have my glasses on, so y'all please forgive me. Hey, Rhonda, I see you. Hey, beautiful. If you're saying hey to me, I'm saying hey to you. Who is that right there? That's the 1092. I see you. And what do Cardi have to do with those two? Oh, you're looking. Yes, tonight we're talking Funky Dineva, we're talking Tamar Braxton, and we're talking Cardi B's trial. Those are our topics. So she's just grouped in that photo. I love you too. What's happening? I love you too. What is that, Dub Doll? I love you too. Okay, let's see who's over here watching from LinkedIn. I mean on Twitter. Hey, Lamar. I see you, nephew. I see you. I see you. I see you. Hold on. Let me look over here, you guys. Get an old lady a minute because I don't have my glasses on. Hey, I see you, Lana. What's going on? I see you, Victoria. I see you, Ocean. I see you, Madam. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. All right, guys. I just want to say hello. Oh, there you go, Deshaun. I see you. Thank you for plugging in with me. I appreciate you. And shout out to all my folks watching me over on X. I can really appreciate that because I almost left X. I left X temporarily for just a couple of moments. I didn't leave it permanently because I thought to myself, first I was like, I'm leading chat and blah, 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 and all the stuff with the election. But, I talked to someone who is, really versed in this social media space and, just growing audiences. And I've just been told that you just meet your audience where they are, right? I remember Oprah Winfrey said a couple years ago she said it longer than a couple years ago, but she was talking about the launch of her own network. And it's interesting because she was saying, like, listen, she wanted the network to be Super Soul. I'm paraphrasing, but it went something like she wanted the network to be Super Soul Sunday, all through the week. And someone was like, yeah, you can have Sunday for Super Soul Sunday, but the rest of the week we got to get ratings and you have to go to where your audience is. So I've been learning the lesson as a new media founder of a new media company, worried.TV. In fact, I got my Worth gear on. We're going to have this in our We're going to have this in our store. So y'all want some worth women in reality, film, TV, music, and media gear, and some other gear that we're going to be pulling out. I'll show you guys before the end of the broadcast. We also have our Creatives for Equality gear, which is actually really cool. As a matter of fact, let me see if I have it so I can share. Okay, yep, I sure do. Okay, this is one of the tees. So that is our Creatives for Equality t-shirt. So you guys, you see the t-shirts. We're going to start kicking this off in September. We're going to do a series of conversations with some really amazing creatives. And that is our Creatives for Equality hoodie. And you can get all of your Creatives for Equality gear on FromTheBottomUpFoundation.org. In fact, I'm going to share something with you guys tonight if we have time by the end of the broadcast. But it's basically the information on our Creatives for Equality Awareness Month launch and initiative. Oh, hold on, you guys. I realized I didn't do this last night too. So let me, hold on, y'all. Hold on, I got to get this situated because yeah, I messed up yesterday. Where are we? Hold on, you guys. I didn't have my logo wasn't up. So I need my people to know you're watching Nights with Nikki. Hi, TikTok. Hi, my babies over at TikTok. It's crazy how everybody has their comfort zone, right? Some people love watching from YouTube. Some people love watching from Twitter. It's people who love watching from TikTok and love watching from Instagram. So I'm going to meet you where you are. All right, guys, let's get into some of these stories real quick. This first story is really actually quite tragic. I hate it. I hate it with everything in me, but I'm going to play a clip and then we're going to run the story. And then we're just going to talk about this a little bit because it's important. So take a listen. I say take a listen and the listening ain't happening. Hold on, guys. We're experiencing just a tiny bit of technical difficulties.
Church in Minneapolis. And we are working to get some more information. Thankfully, Bill Malugin is here, and he's got some great sources, as you all know. And let's just get a little description of what we know. This is very, very early stages as we bring you this news.
Yeah, so this all happened apparently at Annunciation Church in the city of Minneapolis. I'm hearing from multiple law enforcement sources, including Minneapolis law enforcement sources and federal, that this does sound to be significant and serious. They're being told that there are, quote, multiple casualties here. We don't want to talk about any numbers yet or any possible fatalities, but we are told this does sound to be very significant, very serious, with multiple casualties reported.
Okay, guys, this is really terrible. I hate sharing this story because it just really breaks my heart. I have a grandson who is the age of some of those kids, and I just can't even fathom. But for those of you who don't know, there was another mass pow-powing. I don't even know if during events like this you can say those words on some of these platforms. So it sounds a little ridiculous to use the word pow-pow. I think we're all adults here, but I'm going to go on ahead and do what the algorithm says we need to do. But a tragic mass pow-powing occurred at Annunciation Catholic School in Minneapolis during a back-to-school mass. 2 babies, age 8 and 10, were unalived, and 17 others were injured, including 14 other babies, 3 elderly parishioners, and survivors are expected to recover. The guy who did the bang bang thing is a 23-year-old, you guys. 23-year-old Robin Westman, a former student whose parent worked at the school, used legally purchased Pow Pow. And he unalived himself by unaliving himself at the scene. The FBI is treating this incident as a domestic event and hate crime. And the mayor, Jacob Fry, he cautioned against the rising anti-trans sentiment, reminding everyone not to demonize that community amid the tragedy. And something that was really interesting that he said, and I couldn't agree more. You guys, please make sure you hit the like button for your girl. I would really appreciate it. Something that he mentioned, first of all, rest in peace to those babies. I can't even, I can't even imagine. None of us can imagine. I can't even imagine what it must feel like to be at your job or at your house or wherever you are and to get a phone call like that. Unbelievable. And the really sad part about this whole thing is that everybody's there's so much fear, right? We started talking about. I was watching Funky Dineva's post earlier today, and we're gonna get into the other stuff. You guys are just it doesn't feel right to go into that and then to talk about this because that's nothing compared to this, right? But there is a connection, and I want you guys. Oh, and I want you guys to ride with me when I make the comparison and the connection, right? But I just can't imagine what it would feel like to be a parent or a loved one or relative, and get that call. And this country is in really bad shape as it relates to mental health and how we manage it, right? When you think about, and let me go back to what Funky was saying real quick. So he was mentioning, which is a really strong point. He was saying how, I guess he had a show where he was talking about the schools, right? And, Detroit is another example. There's so many abandoned schools in Detroit. So enrollment has been down in a lot of places. And we know it's a lot going on with the Department of Education and all that stuff. And I'm not trying to politicize what happened to these babies and what happened at this Pow Pow event. But that sounds so ridiculous to say that. If somebody can give me another word to say other than pow pow or bang bang, because it seems so childish and disrespectful, honestly. But anyway, the question was whether or not events like this we'll start to see enrollment go down even more. Whether or not people will start to really fear having, because man, listen, I'm like, I know we can't operate from a place of fear as a community. I know that we have to be really careful about allowing things like this to paralyze us with fear and, to take away that bit of humanity that we all have. All kids need to. My grandson looks forward to going to school. You know what I'm saying? Like, he looks forward. As an only child, he's like, yeah, I get to go and get educated. He loves learning and he loves, interacting with other students and other youth. And these babies were praying, okay? These children were praying. Allegedly. I wasn't there. But that is what our reports are saying. So for someone to be that mentally, because that's what that is. I mean, I know we're supposed to be considerate of people with mental health issues, but that shit was just, no matter how you slice it. And I can't even imagine what his parents are thinking, especially with his parents being employees of the school. That is mind-blowing to me. Like, I cannot even imagine. But it speaks to a much bigger issue, and that is the issue of the lack of mental health and wellness resources available. And I know that there are people who will probably have a problem with that, with me having that or putting it that way, because of course you're like, why do you have sympathy? Why are we, oh, he had mental health issues or they had mental health issues or whatever? No, that is exactly what the fuck it is, right? You don't just do something as terrible as what happened today in Minnesota and not have a serious fucked up ass situation going on in your head. Like, normal people don't do that. And I get it. If we're going to make an excuse for one person who does something egregious like this, then we need to be making excuses for everyone who does it. I totally understand the concept of that as well. But I will say this, you guys, we have to really start having grace with people. And I say that because you don't know what people are going through, and you don't know who been planning and plotting some crazy shit, and you don't know if you're the car that honks at somebody behind them that pisses them off just enough to go postal on somebody else, right? So I always try to encourage. It's funny because my husband be like, look, let me drive, because I'm like, no, just be cordial. When you're in the car and somebody going too slow, when you're in the grocery store and somebody's moving too slow, when you're just in a public place and somebody getting on your nerves because they just looking at you sideways, have grace with people, because people are carrying a lot. I'm not making excuses. I want to be clear. Can we hit like, please? Can we hit the like button on all the various platforms? Can we get some hearts? I'm not making excuses, because what happened was horrible. And, the fact that this person took themselves up out of here before the authorities had an opportunity to do it just says a lot about where that person's head was. I hope that this isn't something, I really hope that this is not something that we politicize. I hope that this is not something that turns into, see, the, trans, or the people bottled up, sexuality issues, or the whatever. I hope it doesn't turn into any of that. But what I do hope that this country does, and then we gonna not beat this horse. What I do hope that this country does is, I hope that they realize, while they're out here bringing National Guards to urban cities, especially urban cities like Chicago and DC and other places where the mayors of those cities are Black leaders, right? Black leadership, hands down. If it's not under attack, you need to show us something to prove otherwise. Because for all intents and purposes, what we're looking at when we're seeing, the head of the Fed and, see, that's me politicizing this. When we see the attack on some of these cities that have actually had, progress when it comes to decreasing the amount of crime in the communities, I want America. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, or purple mountain majesties. I want America to understand the sense of urgency that we have as an entire country, not as Black Americans, not as white Americans, not as Asian Americans, as people, as human beings. What happened today should be a wake-up call for everybody, that you don't just need to be policing urban areas. You don't just need to have the National Guard now. You need mental health and wellness professionals and practitioners in these communities. Because, it's really easy to just send in some troops and be like, we're just going to go ride through and exercise our might and exercise our muscle. But clearly you could see the problems are not just in the inner cities, because young boys from the inner cities are not going out here unloading on schools. I hate to break it to you, but young men, every group has their set of issues. Every group has their set of problems that need to be resolved. And the resolution to those issues a lot of times is counseling and therapy. And as much money as we're putting into military, as much money as we're putting into police, as much money as we're putting into this strong arm, me man, me strong, I can stop all of this. Now don't get it twisted. Let me say this real quick. I'm not mad at the National Guard coming wherever they need to come if things are out of control, because I've said all along, and I've said for many, many years, I can't imagine that it would be that difficult to get GUNs off the street. I mean, where did the GUNs that are on the street come from in the first motherfucking place? Just find out where they came from and tell them not to send them back down there, because we know what that is. And I saw a clip, and it was speaking directly to Black men. And I want to say not just Black men, because young women, sisters, we got some self evaluation that we need to do too, because these tempers on some of our sisters are out of control as well. The egregious behavior on some of them You know what I mean? It's not just young men. I say to all of us as a community, as a whole, get your shit together. Get your shit together. Get your shit together, because clearly we see that these people do not have the patience and are not going to tolerate much at all. So when you say, oh, be careful, don't go outside, stay in the house, because now they got, I guess, cash bail is a big thing now. It's a bunch of stuff that's happening out here. And if you don't know, and if you can't see what's happening out here, they're cleaning up the streets, okay? They're cleaning up the streets. So we've already heard our vice president being referred to as trash. So if they're cleaning up the streets, we already know what they think of us as a whole. It's already been said. So the way that we change that is head on the swivel and to just woosah and to breathe. And if you need some kind of therapy, if you need somebody to talk to get your shit together, then don't be afraid to do that. Talk to somebody. Get some kind of counseling. Get some kind of help. Nobody cares. I want to say that too. Newsflash. Now, we as Americans care about some things. Black people are very, very low on that poll. Black women are probably at the bottom of it. Black women and girls. So we have to work really hard to unify and to get ourselves together, starting with you, the person that you see in the mirror, and stay out of the way. Right? Stay out of the way. Like the meme that we saw at the very beginning of, well, once we lost the election, with the women sitting on top of the building, just kind of having a smoke and a drink and watching that burn. That's kind of what we've got to do. Because, and not just sit and be stagnant and do nothing, build together. Because that is definitely the solution. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody tells you. All right, guys. So this is another good one. I'm so excited. Let me just say this first and foremost. Let me say this right here. I have said this a gazillion times. I think I said it last night. I sat and watched clips from this Cardi B trial and laughed the whole time. If you guys have not, if y'all want some comic relief, and don't, I'm not saying that I laughed at her. Well, I laughed at her because I think she's funny. I think she's like a Puerto Rican Lucille Ball. Like, she is just so hilarious to me, and she ain't even be trying to be funny. When he asked her about the victim, the alleged victim of the attack, and he was describing her, and Cardi was trying to be nice, but basically trying to say that she was a little fluffy. But take a listen to this, you guys. Cardi B is on trial right now.
She didn't hit me, I didn't hit her. There was no touch. So to me, it wasn't no incident.
Was there spitting?
Absolutely not.
Did you spit on Miss Ellis?
No.
Did you call her the N-word?
No.
What is your background? Are you Hispanic, white, something else? Okay.
My background?
Yes.
Well,
What's the objection? Assistant. Would you consider yourself African American?
I consider myself Afro-Caribbean.
No, you under a second to object. What's your objection?
It's crazy.
Assistant. Have you ever used the N-word with Miss Amani Ellis?
No.
Did you try to take a swing at her?
No.
So, long story short, Cardi B is giving her testimony this week in an ongoing civil assault case, and she is doubling down on her claim that she never got physical in this 2018 run-in with this hospital security guard. The Grammy-winning rapper is being sued by Imani Ellis, who alleges Cardi verbally and physically assaulted her during a visit to a Beverly Hills medical building while pregnant with her eldest child, Culture. Cardi told the court that the two were chest to chest, but insisted that there was no contact beyond a heated verbal exchange. After she noticed that she was filming her, she stated, "She didn't hit me, I didn't hit her. There was nothing." And then he asked something about what he thought this was, and it was a debate. So you guys, I'm not saying that anything about this thing is funny. Actually, it's really sad to see two black women out here, in court. But let me just say this real quick, and I'm not trying to be shady and I'm not trying to be funny, but The fact that Cardi B actually got a trial, let's just give it to her one more time. The fact that Cardi actually got a trial is boss. I don't know what you got to do to get a trial in the United States of America, but clearly Cardi was able. Hey, Pam Esquire, she says, this trial is epic for sure. You guys, listen, I have been watching this, like it is literally like comic relief. Now, first of all, if you ask me if the lady has a case, let me find a soundtrack. Hold on. Let me find a sound effect. This is what I think about this lady's case. One more time. This is what I think about the lady's case. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think, first of all, if you got into a fight with somebody, now mind you, I don't have the facts, and I was not there. And I am very pro victim. And I'm very pro people having the right to present their facts and to present their case. But listen, I think I said this last night. If Cardi B or Beyonce scratch me, you better believe I'm going to have 569,000 pictures of it. You better believe I'm going to fall, stop, drop, and roll. Do you understand? Well, no, I'm not, actually. I would never do that. But I'm saying, if you are out for a money grab and you didn't even take a picture, you didn't take a picture of the alleged injuries that you suffered, not friend. And this is the other thing. If Cardi B got into a physical altercation, first of all, I think there was some about the lady said she touched her nose and she had like really long nails with jewels and stuff on them. And then I think she said that in her deposition, which a deposition is where you go and you swear under oath what actually happened. And a lot of times people be forgetting what they said in their deposition. That's how your ass get caught up for perjury. So you need to remember what you said in the deposition, because the people on the other side are surely going to remember Shirley. Barbara, this is Shirley. You know what I'm saying? Barbara going to remember what Shirley said. For sure. So apparently, sorry y'all, I had to gloss them lips up. Apparently, her story just don't seem to be sticking to me. Because she said first she poked her nose, or she scratched in the nose, and then she said she scratched the side of her cheek. And then the doctor got on there today, and the doctor said something to the effect of, long and short, it ain't looking good for the lady. And Cardi B probably did the best thing she could have done by going to trial, because many of us, had we not had the opportunity to see this trial play out, we would have probably been believing that Cardi B was out of pocket. You know what I mean? But that just doesn't seem to be the case. It just does not seem to be the case. That's why I wore my scales are sometimes unbalanced. My scale earrings. And together we have all that has to be. I hope you see that you can lean on me. Whew. But once again, let's give our girl Cardi B a round of applause for doing what? Getting to a what? Jury in a trial. So I am Team Cardi B in this situation. She had the people laughing. She just really comes off as a really sincere, authentic person. And the lady who was suing her comes off as, I don't know. So, yeah, let's just hope and pray that this trial ends soon and that Cardi B, that justice is served, right? I guess it would be unfair for me to root for any one particular person, especially since I'm not Pam, the law intellect, so I ain't seen the paperwork. Pam, what do you think? Do you think that, what I know you can't, okay, yep, she said, I'm glad Cardi took this all the way. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I love Cardi, but I still believe she only won the Tasha K because of not because of the hue factor. Okay, I don't know. You guys, I don't know. I didn't follow the Tasha K and Cardi B situation, but I will say that I really, I wonder what it would be like. I sincerely wonder what it would be like if we as a community, and when you think about the following that somebody like Cardi B has, and you think about the following that someone like Tasha K has, and it's just like, damn, like how dope would it be if we just all came together and had like a super network of like all the dope ass, black YouTubers and black actors and black singers and performers and, entertainers and whatnot. But I just, I wonder if it's even possible. I don't even know. I wonder if it's even possible. I don't know. I believe it's possible. I just wonder if it's possible to do it on the scale that it would need to be done in order for us to really be in a better position as a community, because I just don't get how we don't see it. Right? You go to other communities and you see like, Asian community rock solid, Jewish community, and every community got, issues. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm just saying the way that they're able to build, the way that they're able to honor their elders, the way that they're able to, keep customs that help their communities continue to thrive. We just don't have that honor and we don't have that respect, and we don't have the ability to take a step back and not be the one in that moment, but to lift the one and promote the one, It's terrible. But, hey, listen, some of the greatest movements have happened because things fell apart, right? Ain't nothing like shit falling apart to get you on your shit. Things fall apart and it has you rethinking your whole existence. So maybe, just maybe, our community needs to see it all fall apart, because I was thinking about it. I'm like, where's the leadership? We got so much going on out here. We got so many obvious attacks on our community happening. And who are the people, or who is the person? Where is the group? Now, I know we're going to raise our hands and say Ben Crump. And praise God, thank God for Brother Ben Crump. Let's give him a round of applause. And some people may still say Al Sharpton. And some people, even though he's probably somebody who should be just relaxing into his golden years, Jesse Jackson. Who are the newbies? Shout out to Zeke from Detroit. Them brothers over there been doing it. If you know, you know. And it's a couple of other great organizations that are really helping, serve and protect and serve our community, right? We talk a whole lot about what's happening with the police, and we talk a lot about what's happening with politics and whatever, but what are we doing within our own communities to empower each other and to grow each other? I want to say this real quick while I have you guys. I mean, I know she has a huge audience and did not ask me to say this at all, but please follow my sister Pam, the Law Intellect. She is working on something really incredible. She is working on freeing people. I just tagged her. She is Pam Esquire, the Law Intellect. She is working on helping our community in ways that we desperately need help. I don't want to tell her story because maybe I'll be able to interview her. I'm going to interview you one day, Pam, so we can talk about what you're working on. And I don't want to half-ass it. But you guys make sure you're following her because she's doing something dope. And when she sends me the information, I will send it. I will share it with y'all. Let's get into some of the commentary that's coming in over here on YouTube. Love Brownstone, thank you very much. Cashless bail is a real thing. Keep your butt in the house if you up to no good. I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, and it's happening. Wow. That's crazy. Timogen says some are trying to politicize it. Yep, I believe that, and I know that they will be. Ocean says, yes, please get the help if you need it. You guys, let me tell you something. The same way that I go to the gym every day, like I was going to the gym initially because it was like, oh, I want to look better in my clothes. I want to be more confident when I perform on stage, blah, 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 blah. Now I go to the gym because I feel like my mental health depends on it. We have all been carrying tremendous burdens, but the same way you go to the gym and the same way you work out your body, you can go to a therapist and work out your mind, because it's a lot for everyone. And many of us don't have the capacity to really unpack it and deal with it the way that we should. So please, wish Cardi the best. She has a lot on her plate. I'm sorry, wait, let me get to this. I'll scroll past it. Wish Cardi the best. She has a lot on her plate, from her divorce to getting ready to finally release a second album. Yes, we wish Cardi B the best. Absolutely. She is a mom trying to do what she can for her children. And yeah, that's super duper important. Let's see. Hold on. What's going on here? Hair is salt and pepper, but face is 21. Thank you. I'll take it. I'll take it. I will take it, you guys. Listen, and it's just because I believe wholeheartedly that, you know, God has definitely done something special with my heart where it doesn't allow me to wear what I've been through on my face every day. Because, baby, let me tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. If you know the poem, you know exactly where I'm coming from with it, because life has not been easy. All right, you guys, so let's get into what you all probably came to this mother fricker for. I don't even, you know, this story, this Funky Dineva and Tamar Braxton thing. I'm going to try to have this conversation in a way that, you know, is hard. Let me first say, when you are building your little media company, you got to talk about what the people talking about. And sometimes, you just rather not. But I got to. And full disclosure, I did have a, you know, not full disclosure, partial disclosure, let's call it. See, I start getting hot when we start getting into these hot topics. Baby, this loud ass fan is like a little baby portable air conditioner. Let me just take a minute to cool it off. Whew. Now all I need is a margarita with some salt on the rim, honey. Okay. All right, turn this thing down. There we go. It's loud as hell, but it'll cool you right on off. Please give me hearts. Please give me likes. Real quick, you guys, check in before we get into this Funky Dineva and Tamar Braxton story. We are at about 600,000. Close to, well, okay, we're at 560 or 70 or some shit like that. Views in 28 freaking days. The reason that that's so special is because we don't even have our 20,000 subscribers yet. So let me tell you when I tell you what I tell you what I tell you. It is y'all. It's you guys watching. It is you guys commenting. It is you guys being engaged. I really appreciate y'all. Please make sure y'all hit like, share, and subscribe. It is truly a blessing to be able to come into this YouTube space and this YouTube platform and create content that people actually care about and want to see. And you guys care about the content and you want to see it. You know why? Because the numbers is telling me. So we will have all new seasons of Diary of a Diva. I'm doing some sit downs that you guys will not want to miss. I appreciate you guys joining me nightly for my nights with Nikki. You know, I've always wanted to do radio. I've always wanted to have a nightly show where we can talk about the hot topics and all the cool shit. And I appreciate y'all for bopping in and hanging out with me when we do. Please make sure y'all give me plenty of hearts and plenty of likes and make sure you hit the notification bell. So, let me first bring you up to speed on the Funky Dineva and Tamar thing. And yes, many of you may know Funky and I are friends. You know, I'm his affectionately known as Nikki Gilberg. And I just like the guy. I just think that we all can be messy. And I told him exactly what I told y'all. I don't throw rocks and hide my hands. I said, friend, it was insensitive and blah, 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 blah. But we'll get into more about what we talked about. But real quick, I want to say this. The drama has been heating up, okay? So today just took all kinds of turns, y'all. I don't know. I woke up this morning and it was like, what? It was right before bed last night. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to address that because I had just gotten off the live or whatever. But for those of you who don't know what is happening, because you're not out here in these entertainment industry streets too worried about it, the drama between Funky Dineva and Tamar Braxton has been heating up, okay? Funky called out Tamar, accusing her of dragging him into a 2-bit PR stunt tied to her new music video. This comes only days after Tamar Tamar shared a heartbreaking post about nearly losing her LIFE following a serious injury. Dineva claimed to have received hate online, which he did, because I seen it. Um, uh, I'm sorry, accused of, where are my glasses? He got hate online. Where was I? Accusing him of harming Braxton. Davina says that he was left blindsided and hurt, especially after claiming that he asked Braxton to clear his name. So, if you don't know, we're just going to do a recap of the situation real fast. What time is it? Okay, we're still under an hour. Please hit the like button. Please hit share, subscribe, and the notifications. So Tamar posted this a few days ago. Maybe it's been a week. Or close to it. She said, I struggle to write this, but everyone keeps calling me, and honestly, I can't even really talk anymore. I'm so weak. I almost DIED. On Sunday, I was found in a pool of BLOOD. From my friend with a face injury. As the days go by, the worse it is. I fractured my nose. I lost some teeth and mobility. The way I look at life now is totally different as my health is on the mend. My mental journey begins. Pray for me for real. I don't even know what happened to me. All right. Now, that's really scary. Scary for a whole lot of reasons. For me in particular, it's scary because I did lose my best friend and my sister in a way that Tamar described, similar, right? Maybe not the exact same way, but in 2015, many of us remember, that was the headline. Brownstone singer falls in an accident at home and found and I do know specific details that I've never shared with the public. But it was a horrible, graphic, terrible, god-awful scene. And some very similar things happened with Maxie, like, teeth missing from the fall and fractures and, other things, right? And I'm not going to get into the Maxie thing because, again, that is all for our Brownstone doc, which is coming. It's also a part of Diary of a Diva because it's just a very personal thing for me. But when I see that another peer, especially somebody as talented as Tamar, and I remember hearing from the Braxtons when everything went down with Maxie, it was very triggering. It was very, very triggering. And that's part of the reason why I think, many people reacted the way that they did. I think it was Kempire who mentioned it made him think of Maxie and what happened with her. So the first thing I want to say is that I don't believe that nothing happened to Tamar. I don't think that she would play that kind of game. I don't think that Tamar is that kind of person where she would actually say something so dramatic happened to her, especially something that we know that people have not made it out of. And that not be the case. So I do believe, I don't know, I haven't talked to her. I haven't asked. It's not my business. The only thing that I'm going to comment on is what is shared in a public space and social media. And I think that is the reason why this is so hard for Funky. And I think that this is the reason why it's so hard for so many other people to process. It's really serious when you say you almost lost your LIFE. It makes people really start looking sideways at the people around you. Because it's like, well, wow. And when you see that Tamar and Funky were out partying together, it just leaves a lot of room for people to assume that something nefarious happened. I said, when I first talked about it a few days ago, I didn't think Funky had anything to do with it. Person I know, what would he have to do with something like that? We don't know what happened. Could be something as simple as a fall. Could be, accidentally mixed medications. Could be a plethora of reasons. And she hasn't given us the reasons. So it leaves for a lot of speculation. And YouTube streets and media streets and blogger streets and social media streets have to eat. And they're going to eat no matter what the carcass is, okay? Which is a whole nother thing about us, but that's not what this is about. So to not hear from Tamar after she has expressed that she almost went up out of here, And then for the next thing that we hear from her, I'm not going to play it, the visual, because I don't want to get my channel struck or whatever they do, but to not hear from her at all, and then for this to be what we hear.
But we already know you shouldn't even be dealing with him.
And you right here going through by that lady husband? What? Girl, you a better woman than I ever been.
Oh, wait a minute, they are not together.
Okay, Vince, I need advice.
What do I do?
You gotta run the show first.
I didn't cheat. I got taken down.
And you expect for him to get over that?
Okay, I'm not going to keep playing it. But anyway, so to not hear from Tamar, right, after she has us like, what the fuck happened to Tamar? And then for her to post, when we do finally hear from her, the moment you've all been waiting for. Now we like, oh, she's going to tell us what happened, how she failed, what happened with Funky. Like, that's the moment we've all been waiting for. But she says, the one moment you've all been waiting for, my real life heartbreak album, story, and movie starring my friend Mendices. New EP, Heartbreak Retrograde. And I'm going to promote it because go get it. Heartbreak Retrograde, available 9/19. So listen, guys. I said it about Funky, and I'm going to say it about Tamar. And because I'm saying what I'm saying to Tamar, or not, I'm not saying it to Tamar, I'm saying it to y'all about Tamar, but because I said what I said about Funky to y'all, I'm going to say what I have to say about Tamar to y'all. It was tone deaf. Same way Funky just kind of saying that lady and, you know, not considering that we all think that this woman almost lost her life. It was tone deaf to say the moment that you've all been waiting for and to release a video for a trailer, for a movie, for a film, for an album with nothing in between, no padding, no setup, no, you know, oh, by the way, the other stuff, I'm good, I'm healing. But, you know, like there was just another way to present that. And I just felt like that was tone deaf. And just like Funky don't give a shit about what the hell I'm saying, Tamar probably doesn't give a shit about what the hell I'm saying either. And especially since I know her manager, then just gonna leave that there, but ain't no secrets over there. So she's probably like, bitch, please, I don't care what you have to say about this. But when you put yourself out there in the public eye for us to care, for us to wonder, right? And we don't get an understanding. We don't get anything between the whole, oh my God, something's wrong with this person, and the, oh, I'm fine, let's party over here. And then, not that's what she said, but no, we weren't just waiting for the video. Of course, you're amazing, fantastic voice, incredible singer. Of course, we want to support you and we want to be there for it. But we also want to make sure you're okay, and we need a few more details, right? And it just reminds me of the Kelly Price situation. It just reminds me of the Kelly Price situation. And how fake would I be if I didn't have an opinion on what it feels like to have the public thinking that you're clout chasing? Because remember my shit, I had to do a whole interview on The Real just to let the people know I wasn't clout chasing. When you're actually someone's friend and you care about them, and you care about their welfare, and you want to help them, and you want to advocate for them, and you want to say, hey, listen, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for them to either watch you get thrown under the table by other people or thrown under the bus, thrown under the motherfucking 18-wheeler, because that's what I was, and that's what Funky was, and everybody else who stands up for somebody and expects your friend to do something as simple as say, oh, no. It was a misunderstanding. That's my friend. That's not what the intentions were, whatever it is. So I can relate to Funky's response, which was, when I get through reading Tamar Braxton ass down to the ground, I don't want to hear shit. Here it is. I got 8 Alive over my birthday weekend. So imagine that. It's your birthday weekend. It's a time when you're supposed to be celebrating your birthday. And you're getting 8 Alive, 8 up, because people think that you've done something nefarious to a superstar. And the whole time he said there was nothing wrong with Tamar. Now she has released this tired ass music video. I don't want to change his words around because they're right here for me to read them. These are not my thoughts. These are his. this tired ass music video for this raggedy EP that don't nobody want. And because I'm in the video, people are going to think that I was a part of this PR stunt. I was collateral damage in a 2-bit PR stunt. And he wasn't throwing rocks and hiding his hands. He added her and said, you ain't even going to try to clear any of this up and tell these people that I didn't do anything to you. You know what happened. I was accused of not being a friend to you when at the end of the day, it was you not being a friend to me. And then he later said this morning, he said, I'm going live at 11 a.m. and I'm finna show this bitch how to go down a slide. Okay, so take a listen to this.
See, rolling and having a good time. All of a sudden, stories start dropping. Funky Dineva tried to unalive Tamar. I send this to her. I send it to her. And I write, girl, this thing is starting to grow legs. And she writes back, I'm lost. I'm confused. I didn't say anything. I'm in the hospital.
So that means she was hurt if she was in the hospital.
Now, what I could do with that?
Right.
At the point in which somebody tells you they're in the hospital, you can't continue bothering them with petty internet drama.
That's right.
So when she hit me with the Uno reverse, I'm in the hospital, I just wrote back, you know what? Miami,
Not the Uno
Tootsie
reverse.
rolling and having a good time. All of a sudden, stories start dropping. Funky Dineva tried to unalive Tamar.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. Get well. I can weather this. I've weathered worse. The whole while, the whole TikTok, the whole YouTube,
Y'all.
everybody is going, think pieces down to the ground. And let me
I did
explain to
one.
you why this moment right here is so necessary for me and so gratifying. In this particular moment, it actually has less to do about Tamar and more to do about all of y'all out there that dislike me so bad, and all of y'all out there who are so committed to this narrative of me being, don't worry about it, some type of messy punk, a messy sissy. Y'all have to eat crow like a motherfucker right now, and I am loving every minute of it. Oh, baby, you internet detectives.
He going in on y'all asses. He said you internet way. He ain't finished.
Internet detectives.
He ain't
knew
finished.
all the ins and outs.
Yes.
As some type of messy punk,
Hit
a
like.
messy sissy.
Hit like. Give me some
Y'all
hearts.
have to eat crow like a motherfucker right now, and I am loving every minute of it. Oh,
Basking.
baby, you internet.
Okay,
all right.
guys. So I'm not gonna play. He went on and on and
So
on.
I'm
So
like,
basically, at the end of the day, I had to talk to my friend today because I was, like, whoa. The first thing I had to say was, I'm sorry, friend. Like, I'm sorry that this happened. I'm sorry that and the reason that sorry is such a powerful, potent ass word in situations like this is because when you have been down that rabbit hole, when you have been the person who all your friend got to do is just simply say, hey, listen, that is not right. I love my friend. She, he or she had my back. You know what I mean? When you think about stuff like that, you really, it's easy to just nip it in the bud. And what I got out of the conversation was, I'm not trying to make this messy. I'm not trying to turn this into some extraneous bullshit. I simply want the respect and the courtesy of having my name cleared. And he made it very clear during his live. You guys go check it out on his page. I think he's gone live twice today. He went, right before I went live, he was live. and then earlier this morning. And he said all he wanted was, the courtesy of having his name cleared. Real simple. Real simple. And that's something one of your handlers, your PR person, your manager, your person sitting next to you feeding you through a straw, if that's what's going on. Anybody can send that. So I am happy, sincerely happy to share that Tamar Braxton actually did exactly, well, maybe not exactly, but she did what Funky needed her to do in order to make this thing go away. And hold on, let me find her apology. I had it up. Well, long story short, let me not paraphrase. How about that? We're not going to paraphrase this because I don't want to slip up and say the wrong thing or leave anything important out, because I do know all parties involved and we are trying to be objective. Okay. So, wait, no, that's not the one. Hold on. I'm finna find it, Miss Sealy. Where is it? Oh, okay. This is it. Okay, so Tamar Braxton is clearing the air with Funky Dineva. Tamar revealed that her silence stemmed from being in the hospital, which is understandable, not malice, and stressed for her desire of peace and healing. Dineva responded with grace, saying that is all he wanted. So Tamar says, no matter what he says, I love Miss Funky Dineva anyway. Had I known what was going on while I was in the hospital trying to recover, I would have said something. It's terrible that whatever I didn't say turned into all of this. I just want peace. I've done too much healing to fight with anyone. I just want to get better and continue doing what I love. And Funky Dineva buried the hatchet and said, that's what I was expecting. That's all that I wanted. And it is pretty much squashed. So I do believe that there is probably more to this story that we'll eventually learn, or not, you know what I'm saying? Because the truth is, it's really not our business unless Tamar or somebody involved in a situation like Funky makes it our business. But it does feel like there's something that we're missing, and it does feel like, everybody's kind of waiting. Like we all like, did she post? What she post? What she say? What he say? What they say? Because we want to know, like, what the hell happened. And not just for the most part, it's because it's nosy and probably bored and looking for something, juicy to talk about or hear about. But also because we're genuinely concerned when a person says, that they've come that close to joining the hereafter. It's like, what happened? And it's kind of like, you can't say something as serious as that and not follow it through with I'm doing much better. It turns out that it was a household accident. It just feels like there's more, even still, right? I know beggars can't be choosy, as they say, but there just still feels like it's just a little bit more taint. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you take the shot and you don't quite finish the whole shot and you got just a little bit more tequila in there. And the person looking at you like, nah, bitch, finish that. It's a little bit still left. It feel like it's just a little bit more tequila in that shot glass that is Tamar Braxton and Funky Dineva. But again, that is not my business unless somebody makes it my business. So I can respect that Funky did not take... Funky was on his Michelle Obama thing, right? When they go low, we go high. So he gave grace. He gave a lot of grace. Not tomorrow, the nigga. No, I'm just tomorrow he might be like, fuck that shit. I'm about to But he gave a lot of grace. And I think you do give people grace, especially when they're recovering. We don't know what it is, you guys. We don't know what happened with her. We don't know how serious it is. We don't know how long the recovery will be. So I'm just glad that within a 24-hour span of time, we saw two people who were friends go from about to just unload and share everybody's dirty laundry. Because what I did not share in those clips, because it was very like, ooh-wee, and I don't want us to get caught up to go down that rabbit hole. But he was like, basically, look, bitch, you play game with me, you won't do, but I put you in the street. You know what I'm saying? So it sounded to me like he had a little bit more to say that he could potentially say, and he was giving grace. And I'm glad that he did, because that is what friends do. That is what people who care about one another do. Yes, you could eat off of it. He was like, listen, I will eat off of this for the whole week. And I get it, because when someone, this is the thing, and I'm going to say this, where are we at? Where we at? Oh, we are just under an hour, huh? or just over an hour. I'm sorry. Please hit like. Please hit like. I appreciate y'all so much for coming in here, hanging out with me. Please do me the kind favor of hitting the like button. Let me see what y'all are saying, I guess, first. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me interact with my people a little bit, y'all. I've been bumping my gums. I'm glad. Let's see where we at. I'm gonna come over there to TikTok as well. Let me see. Deshaun, she doesn't owe it to us, but we would not have known had she not come out. I agree with you. Folks are actually saying that he tried to KILL her. Right. That's crazy. You guys, it's bananas. Stunt Queen says, the truth is the movie video was a disguise to something more. I hope that she is recuperating. Some people think that the movie was just put out there to maybe stop people from saying too much. She denied the rumors with Mendices. She should have 100% cleared up the misunderstanding with Funky. I agree with you 100%. I just find it odd that none of the other Braxtons have said anything. You guys, let me say this real quick about relationships with sisters and siblings and stuff like that. Sometimes, as much as we would all like to have the, best relationship with our siblings and our brothers and sisters, sometimes we don't. And sometimes your friends know more about what's going on in your life than your siblings. So I wouldn't necessarily read too much into that. I don't know if y'all forgot in season 2. Yeah. I'm taking care of my 80th, my parents. I'll be damned if I use the situation as a platform. Right. Yeah. It's crazy. It's a lot going on. Hi, Sora. I see you. The stuff with her ex. She did a roundabout statement. Is Tamar in the hospital? I don't know if she's in the hospital right now. I'm not sure. What are you guys talking about over here on TikTok? Let's see. He put himself in that by speaking on it initially. That's on him. She doesn't owe him a statement. Well, actually, I don't know that he put himself in it, right? I mean, well, he did technically because he could have chosen not to say anything. So technically, you're right. But I think most people are in a season of not just not letting shit that's not true about you fly. That's why I went on that long-winded ass rant about R&B divas the other night. And Funky Dineva said something that was really, oh, wow. He said something so interesting and profound and spot on today during his live. He said that no matter how many facts that you have, no matter how many theories you... We're a little crooked. What's going on here? Okay. No matter how many theories you blow holes in, people who don't want to like you just ain't going to like you. You understand what I'm saying? People who have something against you are just going to have something against you. I don't think that there's a whole lot you can do to convince people who are not fans of you that you haven't done something wrong. And I don't think he did anything wrong by speaking up. In fact, I said then and I say now, he did exactly what he was supposed to do. If there's video all over the internet circulating with you, Tamar, and somebody else out at a club. Hold on, guys, let me do this real quick. Just want to remind y'all to like, share, and subscribe. If there's video footage of you, Tamar, and somebody else out at a club, yeah, you need to go on ahead and especially like right days before or 24 hours before that person allegedly lost their LIFE. Yeah, you have the right to just kind of be like, I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm just as in the dark as y'all are. You have the right to clear your name. And if it's people out here who really want to hate you, those people are going to figure out a way to do that either way. Do some research and find the state that tracks the leads of, this is about the GUN situation, you guys. Let's see. I agree with you. Good. I'm glad you agree with me. I don't know what I was talking about at that moment, but I'm glad you agree. I'm glad we agree. Let's see what else is going on TikTok. Let me see. How is Tamar doing? We don't know. She's well enough to post and she's well enough to share her video and the promotion for her video. I think that's kind of where people were like, I do think that was a little tone deaf. They owe that man an apology. I agree. They definitely owe him an apology. Deshaun says, also, Funky was an easy target because of his past with Michelle Brown and some other people. Oh, wow. That's interesting. I don't know about the past with Michelle Brown, but yeah, I think that, people want to believe the worst. And I think it's us, we the people, who want to believe the worst about each other. I hate to say it, but it is just the truth. Y'all, we be real hard on each other. We are used as tools of the incompetent quite often. And it's something that needs to stop. So yeah, I'm glad that Funky and Tamar have resolved their issue. I'm glad that we now know that Funky didn't do nothing crazy to Tamar. Tamar has verified that. And I just want to say real quick, generally speaking, right? Because this kind of also reminds me of the situation with Monique and Tyler Perry, right? Because we are all in this situation. We're like, damn, is and it's like me and R&B divas and me in the P Valley situation, like me in the Kelly Price situation. Damn, I done had a lot of, oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. It's been a lot of stuff going on with your girl. But when people know that they can fix something by simply apologizing, or even if you're not apologizing because you ain't did shit wrong, just doubling down on the whole, that's my friend, I love them, they had nothing to do with what I'm going through, blah, 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 sorry for the misunderstanding. If we can get in Funky's ass and say that what he did was tone deaf and what he did didn't seem like it was very sensitive, we can get in her ass and say, well, sis, you probably shouldn't have released the promo video before we got an explanation for what was going on with your health. That's all. And yes, it ain't nobody's business, because what is going on with people's health and their private shit should never be something for the internet to eat off of, right? Now, if a person is doing something nefarious and shady and disrespectful and you get caught up in it, then go in and let have. But people's private medical stuff and private financial stuff and like all of that stuff, like nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. So nobody owes the general public. You should be encouraged to lie. I saw this somewhere. I don't know who it was. I think it was Mark Cuban, maybe not. But it was just somebody who got some money. It was like, if people start asking you personal questions that you don't want to answer and ain't their business, lie and dare them to challenge you on it. So, let's normalize either lying or not responding when something ridiculous as your personal shit comes into play, and it has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. Because why we just keep eating off of each other's misery and eating off of each other's pain and struggles and shit, I don't know. But if we understood the power of the almighty black dollar, if we understood the power of unity with black women and black men, if we understood the power of collectively coming together in these media companies and these labels and all of this shit, we're the audience, we're the creator, we're the fucking consumer, we're the people who market this shit, we're the people who make it hot. Like, we literally do all the work. We hit every track of everything there is to make something worth hundreds of millions and billions of fucking dollars. And guess how much we own? And guess how much we control? Zero. Zilch. Nada. And it's not because we don't deserve it, and it's not because we don't know how to get it. It's because we are so busy being divided and being used as tools of the incompetent to be divided with each other. You guys, I'm sorry, not sorry. That's that bullshit right there that's going to always keep black people stuck at the bottom. And listen, I know a few of us got it real good. It's a handful of billionaires out there that have a total of $96 billion. But those motherfuckers ain't out here worried about what's going on between Funky Dineva and Tamar, or Nikki Gilbert and Selena, or this one or that one. They're out here making money. They're out here putting their money where their mouth is. They're out here unifying and doing deals. And that is what we need to be doing collectively. You see what's on this shirt right here? Worth Media. You want one? I got one for you. But I'm trying to tell you, in real life, the only thing we can do to improve what is going on in our community, jobs, there were 318,000 black women lost jobs in the last 90 days, right? So that's over 100,000 women a month for the last 90 days that have lost their fucking jobs. Are you kidding me? Not only that, they're cutting out Medicare and Medicaid and all of these really important things that we need to function in this motherfucker. And we are arguing with one another about the dumbest shit ever in the whole wide world. No, we can't do that anymore. We've got to come together while your audience still exists, boo. While you still got followers on Instagram, when you can only access 0.0% of them. While you still have audiences that are clapping their hands and enjoying you performing on stage. While that still exists in our community, we have to figure out how to come together. How to become one. Like the Frankie, we are one. No matter what we do, we are one. Our love will see us through. We are one. Hey. And that's the way it is. Oh, what? We've been singing them songs forever. And we've been singing them songs forever because they are true. They are real. They are honest. And if we can come together, if we could figure out a way to just come together and listen. This is the other thing I'm going to say. The mental health crisis that is going on in the entertainment industry is so real. Now, just like I said in the title, this Tamar Braxton situation, baby, listen. She cleared the air, but my question is, are celebrities really crashing out for fame? Right? Are we so desperate to be marketed and promoted and relevant and get likes and clout that we're making viral moments that should be taken very seriously into opportunities to just have people talk and not acknowledging things because maybe the buzz of the wondering about what's happening would be great for the record sales. I get it. We got to all figure out new ways to reach our audiences, whether it's you got to show more tits and ass, which a lot of people are doing, which I don't believe, or you got to come up with a stunt, or you got to be like my ass on YouTube nightly, 10:30 p.m., WRF.TV, whatever it is you have to do to hustle up on broadening your audience and growing your audience. I think if it involves compromising or sacrificing somebody else's reputation, having people look sideways at somebody that you called a friend, not being transparent about something as serious as a slip and fall when people have actually DIED'd from those types of situations. If I find out, and I don't think I will, because I don't think, like I said, I don't believe that Tamar would come up with a story about having something so serious happen if it didn't actually happen. But if we found out that, you know, there was nothing ever really wrong and there was really no big deal and this is a cover up for something bigger, then I'm done. I mean, not that it matters, but yeah, because I did lose somebody in real life to something as serious as a slip and fall. It was very devastating and terrible. So I don't want to ever believe that somebody would stoop so low as to make a mockery out of accidents like that. I don't believe that is what happened. I think that maybe what happened was an accident or something did occur and it was kind of like, well, hey, you know, let's turn this into a positive. Let's make it a marketing thing for this thing that was already planning on coming out. But we don't know because we weren't there and nobody told us. But I'm glad they cleared Funky's name. They deserved, or he deserved to have his name cleared. And the one thing I learned about Funky Dineva, Funky motherfucking Dineva is that nigga is the YouTube mafia. You got until 8 o'clock p.m. to retract that statement. I'm like, damn, nigga, should I have hired you to handle my P Valley case? Because, I mean, you got folks moving. He said move. They said how fast? Nikki, I finally see why you look so youthful. You keep a song in your heart. Aw, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it's also different now. Somebody called me the human jukebox. I appreciate. You know what? I'm always thinking of songs, and what's crazy is my husband will tell you, my family tell you guys, I don't even sing around the house. I don't really sing. I mean, I might hum to the radio or whatever. Okay, you guys, I gotta tell y'all a secret. My grandson has decided that he's joining the choir, the chorus. Yes, he's doing the chorus. Right, so we're gonna try everything. We try soccer, we're doing basketball, he wants to do baseball. So now the kid wants to do chorus, right? And they're doing Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. So we're gonna watch that, and I'm gonna get him some pointers so he could be up in that chorus like, ah! He gonna be out singing all them kids. Unfair advantage. Shit, basketball players teach their kids how to play basketball. I'm gonna teach my grandson how to sing. And he gonna be up in there singing, out singing all them kids. What you got? It's crazy, but I love it. He's excited about chorus, and I am grateful that he is inspired by music, because my mom would say when he was younger, because she would sing to him, and she would say, he's going to be a little musician. He's going to be a little singer. So she would be really pleased to know that. Because for those of you who don't know, my mother was a jazz singer. And yeah, she'd be geeked up to know that her great-grandson is trying to do his vocals. But yeah, I enjoy talking to you guys. We are at 122. This show is 130. Does anybody have any questions? Let me look on TikTok. Make sure I'm answering. Are you telling the truth? Please get on all media platforms and say what you're saying. You are talking the truth. Oh, thank you so much. I am on all media platforms. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. The only one I'm not on today is LinkedIn, but usually I'm on LinkedIn as well. So I appreciate you guys so very much. What else? Let's see. Any other questions? Yes, I'm glad he was cleared. Yeah, because that can really harm the reputation. Like, seriously. And I know a little something about your reputation being harmed because your friends won't speak up. Listen, I feel that way about R&B divas. Like, we just had that long ass rant the other night. Please hit like, you guys. Please hit like. Please hit like. Do I need to sing a little something? Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. Man, listen, y'all know nothing about Nina Simone? Baby, please. Every time I hear you sing, I was just thinking about, oh, thank you. Will you ever get a Brownstone biopic? Yes, there is a Brownstone biopic that is coming. And I'm excited about that. And also Diary of a Diva, which is the title of my book, which is 4 separate novelettes, very small, readable books. We will see you guys in Boston, September 6th. We're doing the Tom Joyner cruise. I'm excited, you guys. A lot of really cool things going on. Please, we are still accepting submissions for Curtains, the musical dramatic series. You guys, I'm actually going to meet with my partners this weekend, so we are going to go through submissions. So we'll be reaching out to people and getting sides out to people towards the middle of next week. So yeah, some really cool stuff happening, y'all. And for those of you who don't know, my P-Valley case is in the Supreme Court of the United States of America. And on September 29th is the long conference where the justices go into a closed door conference room, and they discuss the cases that they're going to grant writ of certiorari for. So I'm a pro se litigant, you guys, which means that I wrote my petition myself. It was very difficult. I got an amazing company to help me with the structure and how you put that whole thing together, because there's a whole lot of ins and outs about how you put that together. But I'm super duper proud of myself, and I'm super grateful that God has given me the wherewithal to see this thing all the way through to the Supreme Court of the United States. To all the P-Valley fans out there, let me say this, because I don't think I've ever really said this. I don't think I've ever really said this in a serious way. And I want to say this in a serious way because God has put this on my heart as well. So, there seem to be a lot of P-Valley fans on TikTok, so I'm going to make sure I give y'all a little focus too. Not just to the fans of TikTok, to anybody who, not just the fans of TikTok, not just to the fans of P-Valley, but to any of the actors, to any of the crew members, to any of the innocent people who were just innocent victims of what I believe is the infringement of my intellectual property. To the people who love the show brought them joy after a hard day's work. The people who felt like the show made them feel seen, made them feel like there was representation, that made them feel like, they had a place. I'm sorry that this thing has, now I'm not accepting responsibility for the show not being here. I still believe the reason that you don't have the show is because they just, karma, we'll call it, and the universe and God. And when they get ready to give you P-Valley, you're going to get it. It is not because of my case, because technically, as it stands, P-Valley has won because I never got a chance to go. Well, not won, but the judge ruled in their favor without a trial. I didn't have a chance like Cardi B has and so many other people. The decision was made for me by the judge, and he refused to allow me to go to a jury. So I don't feel like I lost, but I also don't feel like I'm preventing them from being able to go forward because technically there's nothing preventing them from moving forward with their show. The same way that you got season 2 while we were in the middle of the lawsuit, and that was being in the middle of the lawsuit with them not knowing allegedly if they were going to win or lose. You still got a season 2. So think about the sense that that makes. In the heat of a high profile lawsuit that was not resolved in their favor by 2 courts, you still got a show, right? So the reason why you don't have a show right now has nothing to do directly with me. Now, I do believe in karma, and I do believe in God, and I do believe in the universe. And I think God created it all as a great equalizer and a reminder that no matter how powerful you get, what goes around is going to come around full circle and tenfold. And in the spiritual space, I definitely feel like what happened with my case has impacted their ability to come back. But it does not give me any pride. It does not give me any, I don't feel good about the fact that people aren't working. And I don't feel good about a community that wants a show, that loves the show, that misses the show. I don't feel good about you guys not being able to have that. But I do believe that if you get something and it's ill-gotten gains, at some point, you're going to have to pay the piper. And whether you get away with using your power and your money and your control to convince systems that I'm not worth a trial, to convince systems that my story is not worth being heard on a global scale, you still have to contend with karma. You still have to deal with what God has for you that don't have shit to do with me. So I apologize for the people who got dragged into this. So we don't want to say the people who got drugged into nothing because, that's the whole point of this Funky Dineva, right? But that was poor taste. I apologize for that. I shouldn't have said that. But to the people who are wondering what's going on with P-Valley, I wish that this wasn't the world that we had to live in. I wish that, they didn't take my shit and I didn't have to go to the Supreme Court about it. But that is not the reason the show is not here. I think it's much bigger than that, really. And I've said this before as well. I don't have an issue with Katori Hall. I mean, at this point, it's been 5 years. I'm not going to get wrinkles and be looking all crazy because I'm walking around looking like this and all mad and shit. Because, there's nothing I can do about that. And if the Supreme Court says, get this out of here, we don't care, it doesn't matter, it will be a huge setback for all creatives. You guys, when I say I'm fighting for creatives, I've said it for many years, but now I really mean it from the depths of my soul. If I don't get the opportunity to have a fair trial, if I don't get the opportunity to present my facts, to jury. If the Supreme Court does not look at this and see that my constitutional rights to due process were violated, and they allow this multi-billion-dollar company to go forward with an over $1 million judgment and legal fees, and allow them to just take without any sort of repercussions or, holding them accountable, anybody that comes after me, any creative, any artist, any person that is fighting for their IP will be met with, well, Nikki Gilbert Daniels had 57 comparisons. She actually left her materials with the CEO of the company. They had whole dialogue about Tata, Auntie, burlesque, and so she copyrighted her materials way before them, and they still didn't give it to her. So they're not going to give it to other creatives. If you don't have at least what I had or greater, which basically is going to have to be verbatim, word for word, exact copy to the letter. And what person is going to copy something exact to the letter? I think there was only one other case about a film that was copied almost exactly to the letter. But you're raising the bar, and hopefully the Supreme Court understands, to be an underfunded plaintiff, to be a single black woman fighting a multi-billion-dollar company is already hard enough. To be a single independent black woman fighting multi-billion-dollar companies who don't deny that they had access to the materials is even more difficult to accept. But to be a single woman fighting a multi-billion-dollar company and having an expert with 30 plus years of experience stand and say, without a doubt, P-Valley couldn't have happened without the use of Soul Kittens Cabaret. An expert, somebody who was accustomed to reading these things. The judge is not an expert. None of the judges in my case, none of them were experts. The one at the federal district court was not an expert, and the ones at the appeals court were not experts. That's no disrespect. It is just a fact. In fact, other appeals court judges have said they think it is hubris for judges to believe that they have the experience, as if they went to UCLA or USC or school for this. For judges to think that they have the experience and the knowledge and the expertise and the ability to unpack how something goes from a stage play to now being involved to a drama series is hubris. And they speak often about how this is being almost an abuse of discretion in the court system. And I just hope that the Supreme Court sees that. I hope that the Supreme Court hears that. But if they do not, if they don't, especially with me being a pro se litigant, I know I have a very slim chance of this being anything. But if on September 29th they choose not to discuss it, or they choose to just throw it out, then I've still served a really solid purpose to my creative community. What is that? I have shown you that without a doubt, no matter what, no matter how much evidence you have, no matter how hard you fight, no matter how many relatives you have die in the process of this thing happening, there will be no empathy, no sympathy. There will be nothing that helps you get through a litigation with a well-funded multi-billion-dollar corporation if you don't have the money. That the justice system is about who has the money and not who has the truth. That's simple. We will know come September 29th during the Supreme Court Law Conference. And it's interesting because Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson did a dissent. And I'm going to get off because, 34, not too bad. But Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson did a dissent recently. And she said, it's really important for the court to not appear as though they are ruling more in favor of moneyed interests, because justice is supposed to be for all. We're all supposed to have a shot at a trial. We're all supposed to be able to have a shot to defend our family's generational wealth and wellness, right? And she mentioned, as a member of the Supreme Court of the United States, that if things don't start to change in the way rulings go down, that people will start to lose their faith in the system. And I'm just here to tell y'all 100% truth. I will know that I went all the way I will know that it is impossible for creatives to win against well-funded corporations. And I will also know that there is no such thing as justice for a person who looks like me in this country. Now we wonder and we question, but if this thing in the Supreme Court just gets thrown out like a piece of trash, like it has through all the other federal court and appeals court, I'll know for sure. Justice does not exist for people who look like me. Justice does not exist for people from my economic background. And that's really sad, because isn't the system supposed to exist to help the little people level the playing field against the big giants? See, y'all, when I get to talking about that real shit, I get so hot. So yeah, it's hard and it is stressful, and I'm grateful to you guys for allowing me to come on here and vent, because yeah, it's so difficult. All right, so anyway, not going to get emotional about this. Just pray for your girl. September 29th, another case that you guys are going to hear in the Supreme Court on September 20th. Well, y'all ain't going to hear shit. None of us is going to hear it, because it's very sad. September 29th, they're also going to be Ghislaine Maxwell's case is being considered by the court. So what I'm hoping is that they don't deny my writ and grant hers, because imagine that. Here I am, a black woman, fighting for creatives and intellectual property, fighting by myself without wealthy attorneys and lawyers, going up on the same day to be considered by the Supreme Court as a woman who is accused of doing some really terrible things to some kids. My whole company is built on amplifying voices and messages. We had a whole show that we put together from the Bottom Up series. Oh, I'm hot. We had a whole show that we put together that actually caught a criminal and got his ass sentenced to 30 to 60 years in prison. So the irony of being a creator who creates a series that puts a child predator in jail for 30 to, not creating a series that put a child predator, but Sarah's honesty on the series From the Bottom Up. And the little girl who lived across the street from her seeing Sarah's honesty and telling the truth about what Sarah's father did to her, because she was inspired because she saw From the Bottom Up. And that resulting in him being sentenced to 30 to 60 years in jail, to know that I am being considered on the same day as a person who has been accused of doing some terrible shit to people. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. I just don't want to see her get a writ granted and me not get one granted. That's the thing that'd be really hard for me to handle. But I'm not going to do this whole anticipatory grief shit. I'm not going to do this whole like stressing myself out, worrying about what could be if it was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. I'm just going to continue to pray. I'm going to ask you guys to pray for me. And let's pray for Tamar. Let's pray for Tamar. Let's pray for the families of the children. Let's pray for Little Nas X. Let's just pray for each other. Let's just pray for this world, because it is, some crazy stuff going on. And the only way that we're going to get through it, again, is if we just give each other grace and show some love. So to all the P-Valley people, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry for fighting for this. It is so important that we stand up for something more important than just ourselves. And that's what I'm doing. And on a positive note, I've talked a lot about what will happen if I don't get this writ granted. But let me just say real quick, I haven't been, really leaning into what happens if and when we do win. If the Supreme Court is brave enough, and I say brave enough because, boy, oh boy, we know at the end of the day, you got to be willing to stand up for the little people, and sometimes that pisses the big people off. And it gives you a lot of heat for doing what's right. But if the justices, and we only need 4, believe that this is important enough, then you know what it does? It changes and levels the playing field for creatives. All those that came before me, and I'm not the only one, and I'm not the only black one. I'm not the only female. I'm not the only, creatives have been abused by a system that has money to outspend them in these copyright infringement cases for years. I believe the percentage of creatives that win against these large corporations is somewhere around 3% or 8%. So 90 something percent of the corporate folks who go to court for copyright litigations are more honest than the little people whose ideas they take. And that just doesn't make sense. So you mean to tell me 90 something percent of the people who present these copyright infringement cases against these major corporations are just BSing? The fact that I'm forced to pay their legal fees because I brought this case forward is abuse. But should we win, should the court decide that we do deserve the opportunity to go forward, it will say to all of those corporations that have grown comfortable knowing that they can take whatever they want without having to face any charges, it will let them know that it's a new day. And you can't just do terrible things to people and not be held accountable for it. And the other thing that I know is that if the justice system does not do it, God will, and karma will. Because right now, Stars and Lionsgate are both struggling. Right now, P-Valley is not on TV. And while I don't give myself or my lawsuit credit for any of that, I do believe that you can't determine how karma comes back to you when you've done some foul shit to somebody. So it may not have anything to do with the person that you hurt, but you definitely gonna feel what it feels like. And if those companies want to get back in the green or in the black, I would say that you need to fix your karma, especially when you fucking with me. All right, you guys. Anyway, thank you, Lord God, for blessing everybody watching this live. Thank you, Lord God, for blessing the families of the children who are victims today. And Lord God, bless all these celebrities out here who are crashing the fuck out. Ooh, excuse me, Jesus. But God know I cuss. Okay, guys. I love y'all. I appreciate you guys. This was a nice crowd. Okay, Instagram. Okay. Listen, I was talking shit about Instagram because, they was over here with the 2 or 3 followers, and Instagram over here with about how many? I don't know how many we got over here. 8. We got a whole 8 people watching us on Instagram, but we got lots of people watching us on the other platforms. Please make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe. Come on, Kato. You want to say goodnight? Come say goodnight. I hear you at the door. Hey, baby. Come up here. Come on. Say I love you. Say I love you. I love you. Oh, no, you've been licking booties. You can't lick me in the mouth. Okay, guys. Thank y'all for watching Nice with... Thank y'all for watching Nice with Nikki. I love you guys so much. Have a good night and pray for us all, God. Jesus, thank you.